this video, I'm going to tell you all about the Specialized Ruby, the bike I've been riding this summer thanks to Rutland Cycling, who've loaned it to me. If you want to see my written review I've done for them, I'll put the link in the description below and you can check it out. But I thought I should do a video version to go with that. So here we go. This review won't be super technical. I will go over the features and what I like about the bike, but if you want the actual specs, like the full-on specs, I'll put the link for the bike also in the description below for you to check out. The Specialized Ruby is the women's version of the Roubaix for the men. And the Roubaix is a bike that was developed around the classic Paris-Roubaix ride in France. And that happens in the spring, and they go through treacherous cobbles, and usually wet and cold. It's probably one of the last challenges I'll ever give myself. Going over cobbles for miles does not sound like fun to me. But this bike is inspired by that ride in order to try to make that challenge as comfortable as it possibly can be. So a lot of the features are around comfort on this bike, but that is not at the expense of speed. So let's take a look. This is the beautiful Specialized Ruby Expert is the model of this particular bike, and the Expert model, it has features such as full Ultegra here, so it's a full Ultegra group set. And the Ultegra, it's a very popular group set. It is very crisp, very smooth running. It's very fun to ride. It is an 11 speed, so the back cassette is from 11 to 32. And the front is your usual compact, which is your 50-34. So good gearing there, lots of options to get you up hills, very, very good that way. And also for getting you up hills, it is obviously, well not obviously, but it is a carbon frame, so nice and light. And they have their Specialized have their FACT carbon rating, and this is their number 10. So the higher the number, the more stiffness of the frame you get, and the more power transfer you get. So this bike is the first bike that I discovered the meaning of stiffness of the frame. When I put my foot down, the power transfer was noticeable. So I finally understood that term, which is quite fun. It's quite a fun bike to ride. As I mentioned before in my previous video where I did my first impressions, and I'll link that, I like the very subtle branding here. So to show you here, you can see they're Specialized, but it's just the matte on the shiny paint. There, the ruby on that side. Very subtle. I do like that. I like that about bikes and clothes. I don't want to be a walking billboard, as I've said before, for the manufacturer. I love the coloring. It's a black bike. It's just super smart looking with a touch of splash of color, the gradient green there. It's very beautiful. And yeah, I even had compliments by strangers. Oh, your bike's beautiful. You know, music to a cyclist's ears. The features making it more comfortable. So we'll start with the tires. They are 28 mil, which is a joy to ride. I'm used to 23s, and 28 definitely does make for a more comfortable ride. And back here with the seat post is made of carbon, and you'll see this funny shape in here, and that compresses, so it absorbs some of the vibration by compressing as you ride. And along with that, you've got the titanium rail on the saddle, and this saddle I have grown to love quite a bit. It's just as comfortable as my favorite Cellitalia. Of course, I always look for this groove here because I have problems with numbness, and so that is great. But there's the positioning of my sit bones and the gel padding or whatever is in there. It's quite firm, which I prefer, but it's very comfortable, and there's some gel padding in there doing its job because I'm very comfortable. In there is the Future Shock. So in the stem here, you can see this. It looks like a spring, and there's a piston inside, and it takes the bumps and vibrations from the road. The best way I can show you this is to show you some footage I took of the Future Shock in action, so you can actually see. Now I have the medium, which is black. There's 3 levels of stiffness or softness depending on which way you go. I've got the middle one, which is black, and I'll show you on cyclists one of their least favorite things to go over: cattle grids. So I went over one and recorded it just so you can see how much the Future Shock actually takes. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of movement. It does absorb quite a lot of vibration, and that was the first experience where I truly knew that this Future Shock was making a difference. I could really just glide over it, and it took a lot of it. The other thing it showed how good it is on chip sealed roads. So I don't know about you, but I think every cyclist does hate chip sealed roads.
They make a mess, they're uncomfortable, they're dangerous, you skid out, the tar can get on your bike, as Nathan learned the other day. It's just nasty stuff to pave a road with for cyclists. I don't know why they just can't compact it after they lay it, but anyway, enough complaining. Chip sealed roads, you'll really feel a difference on. So if you live somewhere that has not great road surfaces, this Future Shock is probably worth your looking into. Future Shock and or upgrading to 28mm tires. Probably cheaper too. If you have a bike you love, try that. But Future Shock is pretty amazing. It does do what it says. And yeah, that combined with the saddle, combined with the tires, makes a very comfortable ride. Of course, disc brakes, as most of you know, I like my disc brakes. I like the control, and these are hydraulic disc brakes, and they are, yeah, they work well. And this box, all right. So, some people have joked, oh, what did we get in there? Is there a motor in there? So this is Specialized design. They've used this area of the bike, which is usually used for nothing because your water bottles sit a bit higher than that. And you don't need a saddlebag, so you'll notice I don't have a saddlebag, and it's not just for this video, but it's because I have this compartment. So in here, there we go, there's a little multi-tool, and this is a clip where you can put your emergency funds, and by opening that door, it releases the compartment, and out it comes. And inside here, let's see if I can show you, we have the, there's levers, there's a spot for a CO2 inflator, which I don't have in here, and a spare inner tube. So everything you need to fix a flat, and a little emergency funds in case you need a taxi or a cake. And so just put that back. So yes. And I'm doing this one-handed, so you can see very easily I can get it out one-handed. Get it back in, and then you just shut the door. So, as you can see, super easy to use, very handy, good use of space. So you're either going to love that use of space, or some people don't like the look, and if you don't, you can take it off. You're not obliged to use that. You can use your saddlebag.
All those things that Specialized have thought of and put into the bike help reduce fatigue from road vibrations, and like I said, not at the expense of speed. The one thing I didn't like about it, so what didn't I like about it? You will wonder. It is a great fun bike to ride. Honestly, I enjoyed every minute on it. The only thing about it, and this is because of the size of the frame, because of the geometry and the sloping tube, the water bottle that I normally use, my SAS ones, which have an extra 50ml over normal water bottles, doesn't fit in it doesn't fit in the back. I've just had to swap over to slightly smaller. I think they're 550 mils I'm using at the minute. If you like this review and you want to let Rutland know to send me more bikes, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your questions, your comments below. What bikes have you ever had a Specialized? If so, what one? What did you like about it? Future Shock people out there, give me a shout. Are you happy with it? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.